Welcome to a field of perspectives where ideas take root and conversations grow. I'm Brittany, your host. Each week, we step into new terrain, exploring fresh viewpoints, challenging assumptions, and learning from every walk of life. From personal stories to powerful insights, this is a space where every voice matters. Join us in a field of perspectives. Subscribe now and let's grow together. Welcome back to a field of perspectives where every conversation opens a window into the layered truth of the human experience. Today's episode is titled Endless Tale, the story between the semicolons. And it's not just a conversation, it's a testimony. We're joined by Erika Hill, also known as Endless Tales. She's a living witness to the power of survival, self-expression, and second chances. This episode unfolds the story written not just in words, but in semicolons, the pauses, the mark, the choice to continue, even when life says otherwise. Erica shares her deeply personal journey through trauma, healing, and radical self love, offering us a glimpse into the resilience it takes not only for survival, but to speak and to live without apology. So settle in, listen closely, because this story between the semicolons might just be the one that changes how you see your own. Now, Erika Hill is 43, is married, mother of one 12-year-old daughter, originally from Dayton, Ohio. She holds a bachelor's degree in business administration with concentration in management and marketing from Kentucky State University, where she joined the Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Inc. in 2005. She earned her MBA from Strayer University in 2008. Erica has professional experience in human resources, logistics, and currently works in compliance. In her free time, she enjoys family time, music, mental wellness, and traveling. Let's bring on Erica.
Hey,
Hi, Erica. How you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. Cannot complain.
Good, good. Listen, it's a blessing to have you here, and I'm so excited to hear your story and where it all begins. So what one of the questions I do want to start with is what does the name Endless Tale mean to you personally?
It was a name given to me by my big sisters when I became a part of the greatest organization of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated.
Yes.
Um, so I am the end of a line of 12 other wonderful women. And they named me Endless Tale because, of course, by being the end of the line, but also TALE because a lot of them you have a story, and some of
Yes.
you already knew me prevy to becoming a member, but learning about me and getting to know me was eye opening for them. So that's why they named me that.
Oh wow, that's amazing! I love that. See, I love when we get these nicknames and there's really something behind it. There's meaning behind it. So, when did you first realize your story wasn't like everyone else's?
I can kind of say probably in high school. And when you're trying to explain to people what you're going through and things like that or whatever, it's different. Trying to explain I had friends that I had since elementary, and explaining to them like where your mom is because my mom passed away over the summertime before we started high school. So and some kids didn't know. So adjusting to that and trying to navigate through life without her and just
Mhm.
explain to them different things. So um, and how it changed me a little bit, my dynamic.
Yeah. So, how was it during that time? How were you? How old were you?
I lost my mom at about a little bit right before school started. At the age of 14. Um,
Mm.
she did pass away in her sleep. Come to find out, it was because of a mild heart attack in her sleep. So
Wow.
she didn't suffer per se, but it still
Mhm.
was shocking to my family. She is the youngest of 11 kids, so therefore it was shocking to all of her siblings
Oh yeah.
as well.
Wow, wow. So how did you look at life then without your mom?
For me, for a long time, I just didn't understand. It was life was unfair to me.
Mhm.
I felt like what made for me to be chosen to lose my mom, and everybody else still had their mom around them. Um, my mom was like a lot of my cousins' favorite auntie, so therefore, all of us kind of adapting, like one of the first big deaths in our family. So all of us adapting to that change, and just trying to navigate through life without her around, and what she brought to our family, because she was livelihood and she was smiling and jokester and a chef and stuff like that. So all of us in the gap navigating together, because it's our first real hurt. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, I know that's tough. Listen, I don't even know. I can't even say that I understand how you feel. I don't want to know how it feels, but oh my goodness, you are like just courageous and so uplifting and so brave to tell your story, but to live through it. That's amazing.
Thank you.
Yes. Now, you were told that you were hard to read. How did that feel? And do you think that's true?
I think at times in my life, I am very hard to read. Sometimes I have a face to me, and I can be like extremely bubbly, happy, but it's just like the resting face. I think another thing is too, like, because I was compensating for a lot, I was the extra help all the time and stuff like that or whatever. And when I finally began to tell my testimony, especially to some of my collegiate friends or whatever,
Mhm.
when we got older, they was like, "Man, I never knew that you felt that way, or you went through that, and you lost your dad while we were in college." Like, what I'm saying? Because you never switched up on us, you never did this, you never did that.
Mm.
So, um, and at times, like even like like Paul Lawrence Dunbar said, hiding behind the mask, like
Yeah.
you act like everything is okay, but you're drowning in the inside,
Yeah.
and trying to navigate that. It's hard for people to read because they're thinking that everything is okay. Hence, we always say, check on your strong friends.
Yes. Mm. Yes, yes, yes. Especially the bubbly ones. Me.
Right. Like, real, like you like, because like sometimes you, like you saying, like it's sometimes it is your personality.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's an overcompensation of things that you're going through. So let
Yeah.
me smile through the pain.
Yes, yes. And it's so hard, but then it gets so easy because you're like, okay, I want to make sure nobody else feel the pain that I'm going through. So I'm going to make sure everybody's happy around me and not being a party pooper.
You don't ever want to be Debbie Downer, you know what I'm saying, bitter
Right.
Betty, something like that. So you try to be smiling and helping and all that stuff like that, and making sure everybody is around you is, what I'm saying, you filling a cup basically. And your cup is
Exactly.
being poured out constantly.
Mhm. All the time. It's so draining.
It is.
It's so
It is.
draining.
But when you flip it, oh my goodness. When you flip
Amen. Yes. Listen, it took me some years to get to this point, but it was like I felt that I had to have everybody in my circle, like, oh, especially the ones that are hurt or going through things. I'm like, oh, I want to help you. I want to fix you. I want to do this and all that. It's so draining. But once you figure out the balance between the two, it's like, oh, this is life.
it definitely is. I tell people all the time, like, this year 8 of completion of my journey to peace. um I started at 35, and I'm like, I wish that I didn't waste so much time going into therapy and working on myself, because it
Yeah.
was it was draining, you know what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
once the switch flipped, it's like, hey,
You're right. You're right. And someone said sometimes it's easier to focus on others than what you're currently going through. That is the truth.
it
That
definitely
is the
is.
truth. And I
Is
see
your
you have
friends,
a major support up in here. Look, y'all.
family and friends and everybody coming to check out E? I appreciate it.
Yes, yes. Listen, ain't nothing like some good support. And I love that everyone is here to support you and uplift you throughout life. This is amazing. I love it.
That's one thing I can say. Like, I can't be on my witness and say from, you've been around for a minute. Like, you didn't see me at my
Yeah.
biggest weight, my lowest weight. Even when you didn't know that I was drowning, you was like, I didn't came to your kid's birthday party, help you clean up,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying, or whatever. But I can honestly say I didn't have no switch ups. You know what I'm saying? I mean, one little
Yeah.
coworker, but that's just a hater. You're gonna get one or two.
You
But
know
like
it.
when it comes to my core family and my friends, my collegiate buddy from Kentucky State, I ain't had nobody switch up on me, and I appreciate that.
That's
They
amazing.
have supported me through it all, pushed me, check on me, text me when they don't see a normal activity from me. I can't say that, and that's a blessing in disguise from many people, because people like, I lost this person, I lost this person. Nah, I
Yeah,
and if I did lose them, they wasn't, not to say nobody's insignificant, but they wasn't significant enough for me to be like, oh
that's
man,
right.
dang. Like, you know what I'm saying? I
That's
mean,
right.
relationships may have not been as high as they are, but we didn't lose each other. We still there in some kind of retrospect. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right. That's true. That's true. You know, the one thing that I get so caught up with is I'm always getting associates, friends, or colleagues, whatever you want to call them, that want to get too close and want my time 24/7. I'm like, I'm sorry, I
It's
can't
our
help it.
aura, Britt. It's our aura, because
Yeah.
it's because, and thankful that we got the protectors that we have. Our
Yes.
husbands, like, no, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
We need them, like, because it's like, it's been times that I've been doing stuff for people, and my husband's like, you can't
Yeah.
go, no, don't do it, or find an activity for us to do to distract me from it, to know that I can't do it.
Right.
I definitely understand. They,
Said, thank God for the protectors.
right. Nope.
I love it. I love it. See, you know, you're right. It is our aura was, whew, yeah, to actually say, hey, you doing too much. It was hard at me at first, but now I'm like, I really have to do what's best for my peace.
Protect it at all means. Preserving and protecting it at all means. It's my motto. I live by it. Like,
Yes, yes. And with you being sometimes hard to read, has there ever been a time when you felt like your story should have ended but didn't?
um, I believe in the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. So
Yes.
therefore, it's definitely going to be at His time.
Yeah.
Now, from about 14 to about probably like 19,
Mhm.
I can constantly tell you that part of my prayer, like, is, God, if it's not for me, if it's okay if I don't wake up. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because I felt like, part of my story is I lost my mom, in about 6, 7 months. I lost my grandmother. So
Oh,
therefore, yeah, it was a crazy freshman year of high school for me. So once
yeah.
I felt like I lost my two rocks, then it was like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and be with them. But he was like, nah, you got things to do and a life to live, and think blessings to bestow on people. So I'm like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Um, and that's why I really appreciate, like, going, took your kids to a HBCU baseball game the other day.
Yeah.
I went to a HBCU. Probably was one of the greatest things I ever done. And at
Yeah.
that time, one of our Kentucky State's queens, you know what I'm saying, Miss Kentucky State University, like, basically prayed a prayer over my life, you know what I'm saying, to take
Mm.
everything away from me. Um, Miss Angela Dennis, you know what I'm saying? So, and she just basically, like, you know what I'm saying, sheltered me and prayed for me. Like, I ain't never heard a prayer like this from me, from a woman's mouth, in
Ooh.
my life. And it touched me from the bottom of my feet to the top of my head. And to
Ooh.
know the significance of me being still needed, and stop thinking like that. Um,
Yeah. Oh my goodness. There's nothing like a praying woman, honey. Ooh,
definitely.
nothing like it. Oh my goodness. So I know you felt you know that made you feel good and made you feel like, this this is your purpose, to continue on and be great and continue to see what you can do in life.
Most definitely.
Yes. Oh my goodness. That's awesome. Awesome. Now, can you share a moment from your childhood that shaped you in ways you didn't understand at the time?
I think my senior year in high school, I went to a school for the arts. Shout out to my classmates from Stiver School from the Arts from Dayton, Ohio.
Uh-huh.
But I studied music vocally, and we had to go. It was a requirement for us to go to a competition and to sing. And so I sang my song or whatever, and we had to get rated or whatever. And then the lady that was playing the piano and judging me came from behind the piano. She said, "I got something to tell you. The way you belted those notes, I need you to belt through life like that. It's okay.
Mm.
It's okay to shine, and no,
Yeah.
not let nobody dim your light." didn't receptive like when I was young, but now like you know what I'm saying. But as I went to church that following Sunday, and the pastor was preaching, he was like, "Some of y'all allow people to do them y'all like," and basically, you know, it was like a confirmation for me. Like I gotta do for me, and so that led
Yeah.
into me going. When I went to Kentucky State, and Angela prayed over my life and prayed over me. It was the beginning of me understanding and starting to love myself. But I mean, and though it took years to get there because of,
Yeah.
you know, those with lack of knowledge, you know, not knowing that I should have probably been in therapy then and stuff like that or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Not thinking that therapy was cliche and, you
Yeah.
know, for those who are, you know, a little crazy or something like that or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
versus is that everybody probably need to sit on somebody's couch and
Yes.
to express yourself and get yourself out with some non-biased people, not your pastor, not your best friend, not your sorority
Mhm.
sisters, not you know the friends you grew up when you was younger. None of that. You need some unbiased, true advice.
Exactly. I agree. I agree. So, when was the time you went to therapy? At what age?
I literally rolled over on like January 1st, January 2nd. I was like, I feel a change. And, you know, I said, I got to go sit on somebody's couch. And I literally
Mm,
called my insurance. They sent me the little thing. I put it in my Bible. I prayed over it. And a week later, the name that I got, I went to go see her and started my process like that instantaneously. I told myself that I kept on saying, you can't live like this. I'm tired of smiling, but I still hurt.
yeah.
I'm tired
Mm,
of doing, but I'm still tired. I'm tired of giving and I'm not getting anything in reception. You know what I'm saying? And it's not
yes.
always if you helping somebody out financially, you're not always wanting the financial back. It's still just like you're just being drained and pulled and
Yes.
pulled and drained. But I'm like, I cannot live like this. It's got to be something better than this.
Mm,
And so that's when I mean, I even had to look at the person who I took vows of God with. Like I told him, I said, I'm about to change.
yeah.
This change that's come over me, you may not like me. And when I tell this
Mhm.
part of my story, people are like, oh, that's deep. No, because you married that Erica. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So going to therapy and getting changed and flipping and being a different person, are you
Mm,
going to be able to love me through that? And
yeah.
I warned them, you know what I'm saying? And you have to because you're not going to be the same.
That's right. That's the
There's
truth.
a purpose of not to be the same.
Yes, yes, that's the truth. Listen, that was I'm an advocate for therapy. I've been going for about a year and some change, and when I tell you, I would always recommend therapy. I mean, therapy has changed me for the better. And you're right. That spouse, you definitely gotta warn them on that because they're like, wait a minute.
Right. They see you fixing some things and some you know like hey that's triggering, don't do that, like you know what I'm saying, like you gotta help them to adapt to your things that you've been
Mhm.
taught and things like that, so you have to like, and that's it's serious because this person is the person who's supposed to be with you through thick and thin, you know what I'm saying, to
Right.
death do us part. But hey, if the person that you're going to be or is going to be completely different, you can't fault them, but you got to let they understand that you're going through, and those who make
Yes.
it through,
Yes.
hey.
Yes. Yes. That's the truth. That's the truth. You're unmasking trauma and feelings and things you went through, and you're trying to navigate through that. And it doesn't just take one session to get through that, you know?
um,
And
I've
it's
had
not, go
Yeah, I've
ahead.
had two. The first session was for about a year and like you know some change, and I
Yeah.
took her words of advice and stuff like that. And then
Mhm.
you know as you go through life, it's like I need to go back because
Yeah.
you know the stuff is working. And for me, it was you know like becoming a parent and navigating parenthood,
Mm.
and you know just going through that. So I'm like,
Mhm.
wait a minute, you know what I'm saying? Let me go to um, get some help.
Yes, for
Because
real. I can't tell you the amount of parenting classes I done been through, especially dealing with a teenager. Oh, goodness, I'm going through it, so I'm definitely in therapy.
maybe
Yeah, life changes, and it could be small things you can go to therapy for. It don't have to be huge things, you know. It could be something small for you to just work through it or talk
mhm.
through it, just get through it, you know. And it, I'm an advocate for therapy all day long.
Somebody say, "What changed you?" I mean, I love the Lord, but He sent His people, and that's I went to
That's
therapy.
right.
I sat on somebody's couch because,
That's
baby,
right.
I needed it.
Exactly, exactly. Listen, ain't nothing like it. I love it. Well, other than God, but but as far as on this earth, what's going on? Yes. Now, how did trauma impact the way you view yourself growing up?
I honestly say, like, I think that it kind of just masked me from being, I guess, the true person I could be or whatever.
Yeah.
But um, our family was close, like, you know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
even though we lived through traumas and stuff like that, they did the best that they can when it came to things or whatever, and trying to encourage us, like, if it came home and, okay, I can't be my story is different. I'm not the big girl that people crack on and I will cry. I can play the dozens with the best of them. Oh, you want to try me? So, like, even when before I had my surgery, and, like, I had a few people whom I'm close with that may even be watching right now. They used to call me a penguin and stuff like that because of my hips or whatever. But I can play the dozens because what you say, I can rebuttal better. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So stuff like that, like, I think just the main thing was just trying to adequately love everybody when I wasn't 100% loving myself when it comes to
Yeah.
losing my rocks. But other
Yeah.
than that, I don't have that sob story about that or whatever. My
Mhm.
family did the best they can. And I can't say, like, now when you go back in therapy, you're like, it could have been some stuff that could have been done different, but I can't change it. But it still made me who Erika is today.
Exactly, exactly. That's right. And not too many people know your story. So as far as your weight loss journey, how has that gone? Like what is it? How did you what made you start your weight loss journey?
It's all part of the journey that I went on for the last 8 years. So, um, everybody know the good song by Isaac Curry, "Clean This House from the
Yes.
Inside Out." So
Hmm.
I had to go to therapy, you know what I'm saying, to get myself together mentally before I can
Yes.
go into an action of physical. And
Oh.
so by going to therapy, and I still, what I'm saying, then at the time, a little bit having my child or whatever, putting most of it into parenthood, I had to then think like, okay, if you want to be here a long time, then
Hmm.
you have to do something about it. So I started doing things about it. You fighting with diet and keto and working out and stuff like that, and you're losing the weight or whatever. So basically, right before they announced the pandemic of COVID to the world, I thought I was having a heart attack, and
Mm.
um, come to find out, I had basically COVID pneumonia, and I had
Mm.
70% of one lung gone and 30% of the other
Oh,
lung gone. Um,
goodness.
so, and at that time, I was 38, the same age my mom passed away. So I'm nervous and scared. Like, Lord, please don't allow the cycle to continue um,
Right.
with this and have me leave my baby. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
spending 5 days, for almost 5 days in the hospital by myself with no family, nobody to visit me because the hospital was shut down.
Yeah.
You said that prayer. If I don't do this, if I get through this, God, I'm gonna do this or
Yeah.
whatever. I meant that. I meant it with every Lord, I'm running 99 and a half won't do. I got to go. You know what I'm saying? So I had to. So once I came out and I said I gotta do by any means necessary. It's not a cop out, it's not
Yeah.
nothing. So I did do a sleeve, the sleeve, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So then it helped me. Um, but I
Yes.
did it also for me being able to have double hip replacements, and now
Oh.
I can outrun the kids. Okay, we're out here and I'm catching the ball and we're playing football, and we're having fun, and I'm riding bikes for miles. So it's all part of what I needed to do. You know what I'm saying? So and,
Yes.
and now part of my therapy is being in the gym. I shut the world off. I shut them.
Mm.
If I answer you while I'm in the gym, consider yourself special, because I don't. I'm like, like, I text Code back sometimes, like, hey, you see the time? You see the
Yeah.
time? Before 9 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? You know that I'm in the gym. Stop playing. Like, it's not a life or death situation.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
so, but it's a part of my life, and trying to just not beat myself out of it, of the losses in the games and stuff like that or whatever.
Yes.
And having some good support from, like, some of my friends, couple
Yeah.
collegiate friends that's in a gym, personal trainers or whatever, and a couple high school buddies calling them, texting them like, "Hey, what you think I should do?" You know what I'm saying? Like, take it one day at a time. You
Yep.
know.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's been a blessing. More so, just being able to get a life that I didn't know I needed. You know, coming from being
Ooh.
not being able to tie my shoe to tie my
Mm.
shoes. It's
Can
the
you
it's the little things that matter.
can you talk about the testimony, honey? That's a testimony. Not too many people look at that like it's something, but listen, tying your shoe, being able to tie your shoe.
Friends tied my shoes, and then it's a funny thing about it. Like, you like, I was talking to one of my friends. He had came down for one of my best friend's birthday, and I was like, "You remember?" He's like, "I used to think that you was just doing that because girls like tie my shoe, whatever." Da, da, da.
Yeah,
No, I couldn't tie my shoe, so
yeah,
therefore, but I made it cute so you can know that it wouldn't be. You know what I'm saying? But now I can tie my own shoe. I can squat myself. I can do
yeah.
this for myself. So it's
Life,
definitely
life is different, right? Like you've been missing out on this stuff, and like, wow.
whole 180. Life has changed. Like, you ain't. I'm not scared afraid to go on an airplane. Where we going, y'all? Because I can put that seatbelt on without a extender. Let's go. I'm listening. It's the little things that matter.
That is the truth. Listen, my testimony and my happiness is me being able to cross my legs and keep them crossed for a very long time.
What you call them non-scale victories? What is you doing? Crossing my legs?
Yes, yes, and that's such a great accomplishment. If I ain't been able to do it in what decades, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh my goodness, listen, the it's the small things that add up. It
It's
truly is.
and
And
people
like
who
one
ain't
of your
wouldn't understand it.
right, right. And like your trainer said, take it one day at a time. Do not beat yourself up because when you're on a journey anyway, it takes time. It's not going to be overnight magic. It's going to take time.
It definitely ain't. I mean, for me, like, even when I got down to my smallest size, and then I had my hip surgery, um, I I big myself up for gaining some weight or whatever. But then, like, I
Yeah.
went to the doctor. My doctor like, "Girl, you so small." Da, 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 da. I'm like, "But my weight on that." She said, "But baby, that's muscle." And
Yep.
she's like, "I can tell you by your whole contour. This is my little primary care." And she just be so happy, happy, joy, joy. She's like, "But I can see the difference in it, even though," she's like, "I can see the difference in the before you had the hip surgery and now."
Yeah.
But only because of the number, not because of how I'm looking at you. I was like,
Yes. Yes. Listen, those victories, that testimony, honey. I am. That's the testimony itself. The fact that you're able to run now. Run. That's amazing. Listen, I hope listen, I hope that you take your small wins and make them such a big thing because at one point you can do it, you know?
"Oh, definitely, definitely." I mean, even like, when I made that post the other day, like doing 13,000 steps. I mean, around, I didn't been to Universal, I didn't walked around all these places or whatever. And I'm
Yeah.
like, let's go do this and let's go do that.
Mhm.
And my little poor little daughter, like, "Can we sit down?" "We cannot. Let's go." "Not. You wanted to come to Disney World? We're gonna walk this Disney.
Right?
My
Exactly.
honey, we want to see every inch of this park. Let's go.
That part. I know that's right. Look, the teenagers can't keep up now.
Yeah. I'll be on that elliptical just to going, like, what's up? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just the stamina and everything. And like you said, it's just a whole different level of joy and peace that you
Yeah.
have. Just be
Yeah.
like, and it's to lose weight. People don't understand, like, "Oh, just stop eating." I tried it.
It don't always work like that.
And then for me to be plus size, I wasn't an eater. I can I
Right.
can I can do what they call fasting all the time. I used to go,
Yeah.
I used to be at work working 12 hours and wouldn't eat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I slowed my metabolism down. So now I gotta eat.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? In order for me to
Exactly.
help me. Yeah. So what works for one person, it ain't just stop eating, stop doing that, stop doing this. What if you did all
That's
that?
right. That's right. That's right. There's always other things. It could be other health issues that's causing that, and that's why I'm not the one to be like, well, you can do this, and that. No, you can't because everybody is different. I'll tell you my testimony, but everybody is different. I'm not gonna say it's gonna work for you as well, but I'm just gonna tell you what I
Right.
did.
One definitely work for you. It's not a blueprint for everybody.
No, right. That's the truth. That is the truth. Now, you mentioned therapy and Jesus. How do those two work together for you?
I mean, the Lord and Savior is going to always be number one, as we both had said. Like, I'm going to talk to him all times of the day. And when he's trying to get me out of a situation that I put myself in, or when I'm trying to be nice and people are taking me there at work or whatever. I'm just like, Lord
Yeah.
Jesus, help my mouth, guide my tongue. Um,
Yes.
fix my face. Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's a
On this
struggle.
Zoom call before, like, why is she looking like that? Because I want to say something.
Yeah.
But he put all of us on this earth for a reason, and he gave us psychiatrists, therapists, and
Yes.
for them to be able to assist us. So
Mhm.
it'd be lack of understanding and knowledge for us to understand that it's needed.
Yeah.
um my pastors, they can help, you know what I'm saying, and they can pray over me, and I appreciate it, and talk to me about something, giving me some good scriptures and some guidance or whatever. But they also
Mhm.
love you, you know what I'm saying? So
Yes.
therefore it's not always, you know what I'm saying, especially growing up, the pastors I was under, they knew me since I was a little tyke, you know what I'm saying? So they was meant well, you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? But and then a lot of ministers come straight biblically, and that's okay. I like
Yeah.
that part. But hey, I need an unbiased
Yes.
person who don't know me from a crack in the wall, and he's gonna
Mhm.
hurt my feelings, tell me that I'm wrong, you know what I'm saying, do what I need to do, and then help me learn how to walk over and fix these triggers of me having these bubbly experiences, and
Right.
out for different things. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Right. 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 I love it.
It's a puzzle piece, and they got to work together.
Oh yeah.
Um, but you definitely needed. I definitely needed it to go to see somebody, and my decision was guided by God. Like I
Ooh,
prayed about it. Like what I'm saying. So therefore, I can't say like I just pick a person and then went. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Mhm.
Hey, and it's amazing that you found someone that, it works for you because a lot of people they will not find someone their first time and give up therapy altogether. So,
Right. I
I'm
mean, I've
glad that
had people send me a message and ask me like, "How did you know?" I said, "You should know within the first 3 sessions."
yep.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and you will know. You know what I'm saying? And your therapist is not your friend. So
Mm-mm.
therefore, like you could tell. I'm like, I feel too comfortable. Yeah, that's not. No.
Yeah, exactly. That is the truth.
So, but I definitely, I shout out to the mountaintops. All people
Yeah.
who are believing the word, believe in the Lord, and but
Yes.
go sit on somebody's couch as well. Your
Mhm.
prayer and your fasting is definitely going to work, but in that prayer, send you some guidance of a person who has been trained to help you
That
out.
that's right. That's right. I agree with you 100%. Now, what did healing first look like for you and what did it not look like?
Um, hmm. when the first look like is like the fear of, if I'm not the same Erica, if I'm not the same person, would I still have people, or what I'm saying, and
Mhm.
am I losing this identity who I won't still be me?
Mhm.
Um, just going through the emotions of like that you needed to change, and this change is going for the good, but and it's going good for you, but you're gonna have
Right.
to hurt some people, you know what I'm saying, and
Ooh,
that's not what you want to do, and you're gonna have to be very declarative on that sentence that's a word no.
yep. Yep. That's
And so that part was rough, and isolated. I had to go on some isolation periods and time, and though some people didn't understand that, it was
mhm.
part of what I needed because the distractions needed to be clear,
Mm, mm,
and I needed to make sure that I had to focus on me because I cannot be everything for everybody and nothing for Erica. So therefore,
mm.
I had to fix me in order to be a better mother, a better sister, a better wife, a better whatever capacity I felt in this world for someone. I had to get me together.
That's right.
And that struggle at first of feeling like I was going to lose something and people, then I didn't. But then to come on the other side and see that them people were still rooting for me,
Ooh, I know that felt good.
It's like I said, like it's to like people like I lost friends and I lost that. Like I said, the few people that may have went by the wayside, they should have had to win. The Lord helped them to exit stage left quietly, and then a few that one or two that I know, like I had to say, hey, like somebody's like, well, I called you, you told me it's at the time. I am at capacity right now,
Yes.
and my capacity does not allow you to interrupt this session that I'm going on. So I'm sorry that you're going through what you're going through, but I have to fix it.
Ooh, that's powerful. I love it. I
And when you
love that.
And when you say that, you may have some backlash, but I can kind of say 95% of my people will put your hands up. I'll be still here when you come out.
Amen. Hey, and that's the people for you. Those that don't continue after that, they weren't for you.
They
They were
definitely will.
not for you. Hmm. Yes. Well, that's that. Listen, to come out, and I will say that is the fear, changing and losing people. That was a big fear of mine as well, and I'm sure for other people as well. But you have to fix and love everything inside of you before you can help and be a part of anything, outside of you. And that was one thing I had to learn, that I was like, whew, well, I guess I got to do it, in order for me to feel good. I can't do it for somebody else. This is for me.
Definitely, like I want this smile and this joy to be what authentic. You know what I'm saying? I
Yes.
don't want it to be something I'm doing just for a show. So when you see me smiling and you see me bubbly and stuff like that, I'm actually that person I am now. Versus I was
Yes.
putting on a show for y'all at first, and I made it
Yeah.
look good. I made it look great. You love me at 360, you did. You know what I'm saying? But
Yep.
I had to change it around. You know what I'm saying? And do a 180 and make sure I got this together.
Right.
I'm,
Exactly.
and who I was for you, for most people, is like both of them. I love them, but I love it now because now you're happy, you're brighter, you're
Hmm.
seeing so much different, and I love
Yes. Yes. And you don't have to push yourself out there too much, because everything is going to come to you, and you're not going to force anything anymore.
it.
And that's
Definitely,
that's the freeing part.
yes, it definitely is. You ain't got to force it, and
Yeah.
and also like you said earlier with that balance. If I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. If I'm not going, I'm not going. Family,
Mhm.
friend, associate, work event, whatever. I don't feel like it.
Yep. Yep. And hey, now that I know, well, I already knew I was an adult, but sometimes I didn't want to say no, because it was my elder telling me they need me for this and all that. But now I'm like, listen, no, if I don't want to, no.
Disrespect, but I can't. I
Yep.
got to push your word. I'm at capacity.
Yep.
No,
Mhm. Yep. I will let them know real quick. Look, nah, not today. Mm-mm. And they like, what? You're always here. Not today.
right.
Respect that, or keep it moving.
Definitely.
Yes. Now, was there ever a time when silence felt safer than speaking your truth? And how did you push past that?
Hmm. Whew. Silence. I believe that silence is golden, and
Mm,
is we didn't heard it before. Um, my silence has hurt people's feelings sometimes,
yeah.
and my vocals have hurt people's feelings at times.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a win. It's in a situation. It can be a win and it can be a loss. You know what I'm saying? Because some people, your silence hurt me. I said, but I'm fixing myself.
Right.
Um, and it is something to get over,
Mm,
um, to quiet the noise and
yeah.
to be able to overcome it all.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, fighting distractions and trying to go through your journey to peace is probably one of the hardest parts of the problem. And then the big I word, isolation, when you're not used to spending time with yourself, getting to know yourself, figuring out what you need to do with that therapy, with them triggers. She's saying, she telling you like, you're doing too much. You
Yeah.
can tell them no, or you ain't got to show up for everybody, or you ain't got to do this or whatever. And you're like, but my friends need me. I got to volunteer with my sorority. I got to do this. I got to no.
Mhm.
And you got to quiet the noise. So when you gone for periods of time, it's no disrespect to anybody.
Yeah.
I'm doing it for me.
Yeah.
My silence is not as long as I used to be in this
Mhm.
journey, but from time to time I have to quiet the noise, and you
Yeah.
have to, because the head gets boggled up with too much. So you have to quiet it.
Yeah, look at you, noticing that it doesn't take as long now. You're finding ways to cope and things like that. But I honestly believe, as a Pisces, as a fellow Pisces, we have to have that silence. We have to. Otherwise, oof, we're irritated, irritable. Just
You mean like, hold on. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Gotta have that silence. And oh my goodness, it's the best. It,
It is.
it's the best. My husband I was just telling him, I'm like, look, I need a day where I'm not hearing mommy or babe or anything like that. I just need a day. And that next day, he booked me a hotel and I was just by myself, just in silence. I'm
Twice a
like,
year. Twice a year, Brittany. Twice a year.
yes,
I book me a room and I call them staycations. I go
yes.
get me something to eat. I sit in my room. My
Hmm.
people who are on this live who got my location know where I'm at. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? And I chill out. I chill out. I need to quiet it. And sometimes it's not a device or nothing turned on. I done
Right.
got my journal. I'm Indian style in the middle of the bed with some chicken wings in the journal, and I'm
Oh, yes. Yes. That sound like life, girl.
I don't care if you're hungry. I don't. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I'm gone, and that's something I asked for, like around my birthday, around my birthday, and around Mother's Day or something like that. I got to. It's
Yeah.
part of what's needed. And if a lot of people understood that, especially when it comes to us and these mothers, I was
Yes.
telling a friend the other day, earlier today on the phone, I said, take the cape off,
Yep. Hmm.
put it
You
down,
have to.
put it to the
Hmm.
side. I said, because we put these capes on and we trying to fly high. Well, sometimes you got to put to the side and lay low.
That's right.
Because
Leave
baby,
it in the hands of God. That's the truth.
I said, because you be just overdoing it. You got 72 things on this list, this to-do list, and you know
Yep.
I'm realistic. You can only do 3. Why are you
Yeah.
overwhelming yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like, nope. Mm-mm.
Yeah. Yeah. It can be overwhelming, and sometimes you just gotta put it down. Like, come back to it later, or have delegate some tasks out to other people because we can't do it
Delegate
all.
is the answer. Delegate,
Hmm.
outsource. Some of us, so people, hey, if you need to get you or somebody that can come and clean your house and you can afford it, let them come clean your house. If you get
Exactly.
somebody to meal prep for y'all and your family for a week or two, let them meal prep. If you can afford it, do what you need to do to get yourself together. And don't
Yeah.
let nobody make you feel bad about it, okay?
That's right. That's right. That's the truth. That is the truth. I agree with you on that. Listen, I will pay for some services. Now, look, I don't have the mental capacity for it. I don't want to deal with it. Let me find somebody to help. Something gotta give.
It's somebody's forte. Oh, you fixing some meals? Oh, okay, put me down. I got a family of 3. And I need. Oh, you gonna do it for a couple of days? I appreciate it. I do.
Right, right.
'Cause I be
Exactly.
needing.
Exactly. Now, what is how do you honor your past without being trapped by it?
Knowing that the past who made is what made me. Like I can't let the loss of my mother consume me no longer. Like for instance, at first I didn't want to celebrate Mother's Day, and I would be
Mhm.
super Debbie down on Mother's Day or whatever. But I think like 2 years into my child's life or whatever, um, I just got a epiphany. It was like, hey, your mom was joy and bubbly, so why would she not want you to live this day that you have been given as well in a happy mood and be better or whatever? It's
Right.
hard. And sometimes do I have to make a cry in the shower because I miss my mom and stuff like that or
Yeah.
whatever? But I'm able to cope. So not letting the things that I've been through in my past consume me any longer. And
Mm.
also I want to throw the water on the fire to let it out, but I know I'm gonna always see a little smoke.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's amazing. So many people struggle with grief, and no matter how long ago it was. And it's amazing that, you found ways to cope and, live on. You want to see what life can offer you, instead of living in the past. And that's amazing. That's
And,
great to hear.
and grief don't have no timeline. And I
Yeah,
know plenty of people who are on this live and watching it or whatever. Sometimes you sitting there and you smell their perfume, you smell their cologne, you sitting
yeah,
outside, you see a red bird.
Yeah.
whatever it be. I mean, just sitting outside, I see a butterfly, and I think of my aunt. It it
Oh,
it it'll never go away. And then sometimes the tears will come out of nowhere. But you
yeah.
have to understand that every day is another day to fight on.
Yeah.
And they will want the best and they want you to be who you are and better. You know what I'm saying? They up there cheering, they proud, they wearing it with honor. So like that helps. And I don't let it define me. Like, because even when I told people like, like when I lost my dad and
Hmm.
college or whatever, people was like, you just went on like it was normal. Though he wasn't a pivotal part of my life, it was
Hmm.
the point where I had just started to like, get over the fact and pray. And then I was like, I really want to mend my relationship with him. And then
Yeah.
2 weeks later to receive a letter in the mail that my dad had passed away.
Ooh. Ooh.
It was crushing. It was a crushing blow. But at the same time, when I went to his memorial service or whatever, his nurse,
Hmm.
in his last days, he said your name.
Wow.
And what she told me the day that he actually passed away, I was in a service at church, and the pastor asked he said somebody up in the balcony with the good Kentucky State University Gospel Ensemble. He said somebody in that balcony is holding somebody at bondage. You need to forgive them.
Mm.
My dad that day he passed away.
Wow. It's interesting how things come full circle.
Yeah.
That is interesting. Wow. That's ooh, that's sending chills in my body. Oh my goodness. How were you feeling at that time?
When I was sitting there, and my auntie had called me about a couple of days later or whatever. She said my brother had put a letter in that my dad had wrote in
Hmm.
my auntie's mailbox, and she like, she's in Dayton. I'm in Frankfort, Kentucky, and she's like, you got a letter? You want me to wait till you read? I said, nah, read it.
Yeah.
And she reading it with a little bit of tremble in her voice and stuff like that or whatever. And I told her what had went on the couple of days prior to that or whatever. And I said one thing about it, it was closure in the heart that when you didn't know you had somebody in bondage because they hurt you, you had
Yeah.
to pray I had to ask God for forgiveness and Lord, whatever he's going through to release him, not knowing that he was really going through something.
Right. Right.
Just to give a caveat, y'all, if you're in a relationship and tell them you ask for forgiveness, and forgiveness is not for them, it's for you.
Exactly, exactly. That is the truth. I agree with you on that 100% because it's like people don't understand that. And it's like, no, you have to let it go for you. Don't keep holding on to it. Just let it go. But
Forgiveness
that's
for you, and sometimes knowing that you will have to say accept the apology that you will never receive.
yep. Mhm. Mhm. That's the truth. That's the truth. But listen, once you heal you for you, you on top of the world. You are on top of the world. Yes, you're right. God be there before we arrive. That's the truth. Oh my
Amen.
goodness. Yes. So, how do you tell someone who thinks their pain disqualifies them from purpose?
You never disqualify from purpose. We all have an ordained reason to still be here.
Yes.
So whatever it is, live your dreams, live your purpose, live your happiness by all means. Don't let your trauma, don't let what you've been through, don't let your Me Too movement, whatever you've been through,
Yeah.
don't let it hinder you from finding your happiness. You deserve
Exactly.
it. You can't live these days and have your own self in bondage. Free yourself. It's okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
And as I
Yeah.
tell my people, who ride gonna ride and who divide gonna divide, and you gonna still be able to go on down this road. Promise you that. Promise you that.
That's right. That's right. What I say to most people that have been through something and they're healing or they're healed, or a healing journey takes a while, but advocate, whatever it is, advocate for what it is. Tell your story because you never know who else is going through it and how, they may need resources of how to get out of it.
Hmm.
So tell your story, advocate for your life experiences and things like that because it will help others. It definitely will.
Said one person at a time because you don't, like you said, you don't know what people are going through,
Right.
and sometimes just sharing a nugget. Like I mean, I'm at
Yeah.
Walgreens the other day, and the lady, she just looking distraught, and she looked like she overwhelmed. She trying to carry all this stuff, and I'm like, here's a car, it's okay. Here's a buggy with a cart thing. I'm like, here you go. She's like, I'm just trying to make sure I be the best mom I can or whatever and all this stuff like that. I said, take it one day at a time. And not knowing this, now she walked away and she came back. I said, you have one of your children is
Mhm.
going through something.
Yeah.
And she's blaming you.
Yep. Hmm.
It's your fault. And she looked at me and she broke down and she said, I need a therapist and I need this or whatever. I need somebody. I said, you know what? Here you go. Here's the information
Yes.
you need. Because here's what my child sees and she is the bomb.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you never know. And when you feel something sometimes, and people, a lot of times, people are more receptive than you think they would be or whatever because
Yeah.
you need it. Sometimes it be people, and like before 2020, I wasn't a hugger because I didn't really
Hmm.
like that was part of my healing too as well. I didn't like people touching me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But now I tell God over my life, those who touch me, if it's not supposed to, it white off of me. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes
Yeah.
people just need a hug.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like the comfort in you is what they needed, you know? So um, just live your life. Don't let nobody else dim it and live in your purpose. And
Yes.
one thing I tell people, it's going to be a little bit lonely at times. A lot of times it's going to be lonely. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And even though you may have, you see the people that rooting for you right in your face or whatever. It's like sometimes you can be in a room with a lot of people and you still feel like you don't have nobody there with you and you can know everybody. But you still have to fight through that feeling. And you have to know that you have a purpose to live, purpose for this will, and nothing but a try. And if you fail, pick your butt back up and try again and try a different road because that might not have been the road you need to go down at that time.
You can say that again. You can say that again. That is the truth. Oh my goodness. If only people, it's so hard to see things when you're in the storm, when you're directly in the storm. But when God send people your way, whether it's just somebody just to tell you about this resource that can help you, or even somebody that can actually, help you with your issue, per se. But it's just like, it's amazing, because God is still there. God is still there, regardless. He's gonna make it work if you believe, because you gotta believe some way somehow. But He will be there. He will be
Always,
there.
always ask for the sermon, ask for him. You know what I'm saying? He definitely covering us because like I tell people all the time, he didn't win before us. We mad because we running late, but he didn't win before us and saved us from an accident. He didn't win before us and maybe stopped us from doing something that we weren't supposed to be doing or something like that.
That's right. That's right. God gives you who and what you need. That's right. That is the truth. And whether it's seasonal or a lifetime thing, there's
Season, reason, or lifetime. And sometimes you
that's
don't
right.
understand when they got to be taken away, but hey, it be like that sometimes.
That's the truth. God always give us what we need, even though there may be clouds in the sky. The sun will eventually shine on your beautiful face. That's the truth, Ty. Oh my goodness, that is the truth. Amen. Look, we gonna get up in a little
So
church
that's
seat
like that
right
comment.
here.
That comment before you with the Siobhan comment. That was like that's my cousin. We like 6 months apart, so we done been through it all and been through the storm.
Oh,
And she the FBI. She can't find me. Somebody gonna put that APV out of my life. You know what I'm saying?
I know that's right.
All the way in Dallas, Texas. Don't play with her. Okay.
I know that's right. Look, that support is amazing. That support is needed. That's
Definitely
right.
is.
That is true. So, if someone were reading your story today, what chapter would they be on?
Mm, mm. That's a good question right there. Um, that's a good one. I would call this chapter right now. I would call it the renovation.
Hmm.
I and those who believe in the Lord, this is 8 years into my journey in peace. They know that the year eight means the number eight means completion. But also, it's a renovation to me right now because I started this year off, like you said, getting on myself and feeling down for myself because of when you work so hard for something and then you start seeing things and I'm this age and I didn't have this. I'm not this far in my career or whatever, and I had to put a halt to it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, Lord, renovate me so I can
Yeah.
understand and renovate my mind and build me back to the way I need to be where I was. And that's when I, and had to understand that when he's renovating what you've already built, and though he
Mhm.
about to make it better.
Yes.
You get your windows fixed or get a new roof or whatever you need to do to make
Mm.
whatever your situation a little bit better. So right now, as I'm going through the renovation and reclaiming some things back into me, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Um, 2024, it was a year of probably one of the hardest years of my parenting life, when it came
Mm.
to my child, because my child mimicked something that I went through, losing her nana, which
Yeah.
was the pivotal part of her life, and then losing a pivotal part of our life, which was my mentor. When my mom passed away, she came to my mom's funeral, whispered in my ear, "I promise you, I'll never leave you."
Mm.
She didn't
Mm.
leave me until she left this earth.
Mm.
But when she left
Wow.
this earth, she still didn't leave me because the letters that she wrote me and things that she had,
Yeah.
it was it's it was unbelievable. No blood, not a nothing to me.
Mm.
She was a rock.
Mm.
So to lose and then to lose them people back to back for my child and having to grieve
Mm.
while you're being a parent
That's tough.
and they grieving too,
Mm.
you're fighting. You're fighting a battle because you're trying to make sure you guide their heart and you're trying to make sure you stand. So you can't cry
Yeah.
because you feel like you can't cry because then they could be having 3 or 4 good days and then
Yeah.
you might be having a bad day, but you gotta mask it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So to see her going through this and me having to do that to navigate, I said, Lord, help us. And that renovation is that because 2025 has been great. And
Yeah.
and I can't complain not one instance about it. Grades is better, our relationship is better, the outburst is better, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Jesus and therapy.
Listen, God is good. Listen, that's powerful because that was just last year, a couple months ago. That's tough, and for you to keep going, that's amazing. That is truly amazing. Look, I wouldn't even know how to feel, how to come. Me now, when I'm in a stump, you won't hear from me for weeks, weeks. But to hear that, you're working through those things and still being there for your child and your husband, still being that rock. Oof, that that's strength.
Right?
That's
Yeah.
definitely strength.
So them people that's in the comment section, them was the people like get up, like what I'm saying, like go to the gym,
Yeah,
do what you need to do, like whatever to cope through it. And sometimes, hey, go get in the shower and cry it out. It's okay.
yeah,
You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? It's okay to get in the shower and cry it out. So,
yeah,
and through this renovation of this period that I'm going through right now, I can't say that when I change a window that every time I'm grateful that it's
yeah,
something else. And I know that as my good cousin would say, it's gonna get greater later. And
yeah.
through this renovation, I know when this back build up is gonna be greater.
Mm,
And
I
whatever
love.
the next chapter gonna be, we're gonna keep on building. And I promise I'm just gonna be Erica, the best Erica I could possibly be through it all.
Yes, I love it. I love it. I appreciate your courage, your strength, and all of that. So, tell us your story. Now, what do you hope listeners take away from the pages of your life?
That sometimes whew, just taking it one day at a time and that knowing that it's not always a perfect path to it.
Yeah,
And if you gotta take 2 steps back, and sometimes I say you gotta rip a page out and you
yeah,
gotta do something different. It's okay. Um, sometimes when the smile was really not a true smile, but knowing that you had to smile through it and fight through it, it's okay. I feel like this. They say when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And if
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta throw you a little libation in to make you happy, do what you gotta do, throw a curveball in them. Do
Yeah.
whatever you need to do to
Mhm.
make you happy. And
Yeah.
sometimes whatever it is, you gotta put on the back burner for a little bit. I promise you, it's gonna still be there when you get back.
Yeah.
Fight through it all. Fight through it all.
I love that. I love that. I feel like you're speaking to me. I appreciate that. I needed that. That is amazing. Now, what are you doing now? Like, do you have any extracurricular activities that help you, or anything that you're doing outside of, working your 9 to 5 and being a mom and a wife? What other things are you doing?
Right now, just one praying on a business venture that I won't really share right now because I'm asking God to show me guidance on it.
Yes.
And but also just working on being expounding on my mobile notary business, so I can be
Yes.
able to, always, you're the king, you're the queen of side hustles, always trying to bring an extra dollar in the household because we all
Yes.
need some, just
Yes.
letting people know that I'm a notary, and because of my job, I'm a little bit more mobile than others. So if you need me sometime in the nick of time, I can sometimes come to you during the
Yes.
day and things
Yeah.
like that or whatever. But right now, and like you said, in this renovations season, just expounding on making what the rough year this year better, but
Yeah.
mainly just doing my notary business and praying that God give me guidance on this other venture that I'm thinking about.
Yes, I listen. I pray for prosperity and all of that good stuff in your business ventures. But your notary now, what you have now, a lot of people need that. I'm sure I'm going to need it when look. I'm praying on it when I get my land and can have my family compound and all of that. So I'm definitely
Oh,
going to
now
need
me,
your
me and my cousin talk about a family compound. She's trying to build this compound and trying to get us all together. I ain't mad
yes.
at her. Hey,
Yes, yes. I think it's needed, I think it's needed. So I'm definitely gonna need your notary services. So, how can people reach out to you uh, for your mobile notary services?
anytime you can text me because though we're on, I do have a 9 to 5, but I can always text. You can text me at any given time, and then I pretty much will text you back in a timely manner, unless I'm
Yes.
asleep, and then hey, I see you when I wake up, and but other
Right.
than that, I do have a pretty much open policy for people texting me and things like that. And if I'm available, I take my stamp just about everywhere I go. I didn't been at the grocery store and somebody talking about another. I was like, oh, you go no further. I'm right here.
Right. I know that's right.
It's not too far away from me, and that them 10, 20s, and $30 make a difference. Okay,
Yes,
so
yes, yes.
definitely, um, just just doing that, and asking God to show me what the next level is and what the next adventure is, and with
That's
my
right.
hands up high, receiving it.
Yes, yes, amen, amen. And everyone can reach Erica by this number down here, 704-605-5486. Text her if you need any notary services. I'm sure she'll be glad to, uh, come to your need. Yes, Erica, listen, I truly appreciate you being here and sharing your story. It is powerful, very powerful, and I'm sure it will help someone in this world, or any one of our viewers listening tonight to, see, what they can do to continue to move on, to continue to live life. Because that's the hard thing. Life be lifing.
Life be life, and you got to figure out. I always tell people you have to live life and not allow life to live you.
Oh, I like that. I
That's
like
one of my
that.
favorite sayings: live life and don't let life live you.
I love it. I love it. Listen, that was amazing. Look, that sums it up. That sums it up. Well, I greatly appreciate you, Erica, and hopefully we'll have you on the podcast again and talk about something else as well.
Always, I'm always anything, different topics. I'm here.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a wonderful night.
You too. I appreciate the invite, and I love everybody in the audience for supporting us, and I
Yes.
appreciate it.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Listen, I definitely want to thank Erika's supporters because I'm pretty sure that made her feel so comfortable to get through this and speak to everyone and engage with everyone in the comments and just to tell her story. That's truly amazing. You've heard her voice and the vision of Erika, aka Endless Tales. It is a reminder that even in our most fractured moments, there's still a space to breathe and to continue. If you're carrying something heavy right now, let this episode be a reminder your story isn't over. The semicolon is still yours to place. Thank you for joining us in this sacred space. If this conversation moved you, share it, talk about it, sit with it. Someone you know may need the permission to pause and keep going. This is a field of perspectives. Until next time, stay open, stay grounded, and above all, keep writing. Every perspective is a seed, every story a horizon. Thank you for walking this field with us. If today's conversation sparks something within you, stay with us. There are many landscapes to explore. Subscribe, share, and keep the conversation growing. Until next time, keep your heart open to the fields ahead.